Chapter 8 Advancing in Krishna Consciousness and Exchange of Letters. Dear Prabhupada, I offer my humble obeisances. I have been associating with the devotees of the New York temple. With the association of such fine advanced devotees, I hope that I may make some advancement in Krishna consciousness. My fiancée has started to come to the temple and is chanting a little. She knew nothing about Krishna consciousness until I wrote her about it from India. Atreya Rishi has been kind enough to invite us to his home so we may see an idle householder. I went to Bombay at the end of April for termination from the Peace Corps. I was fortunate enough to come down with a minor illness, so that I had to stay in Bombay for 2 weeks. I spent the time with the advanced and kind devotees at Juhu. Unfortunately, you had left 5 days previously. I understand so little, but I have faith in the process of Krishna consciousness, and I hope to take it more and more. I look forward to Atreya Rishi's description of the temple in Los Angeles and hope that I may personally hear you in New York. Thank you for the kindness you have shown to a very undeserving boy. Sincerely, Bob Cohen. Vanshika.
Bob Cohen, Springfield, New Jersey. My dear Bob, please accept my blessings. I thank you very much for your letter dated on June 12, 1972. I have noted the sentiment expressed wherein the great treasure. I'm I'm very glad to hear that you are associating with us. I know that you are a very good boy, very intelligent, and your behavior is gentle. So I have all confidence that very quickly Krishna will bestow all his blessings upon you, and you will feel yourself becoming perfectly happy in Krishna consciousness. Make One makes this advancement in Krishna consciousness by voluntarily giving up his attachment to the material nature or Maya. Such renunciation is called tapasya. But we are not willing to perform austerities without good reason. Therefore, any man with a good scientific and philosophical mind, like your good self, must first appreciate that tra- transcendental knowledge is. If you get knowledge, automatically tapasya will follow, and then you make advancement in your spiritual life. So, to get knowledge in first item for anyone who is hoping to find perfection on his life. Therefore, I advise to read our books daily as far as possible and try to understand the subject matter from different angles of vision by discussing it frequently with the devotees at the New York temple. In this way, you will gradually become convinced, and by your sincere attitude, devotional service will make progress. Yes, having some faith in me and in this Krishna consciousness process is the first and only requirement for getting actual wisdom. If there is faith, understanding will follow, and your understanding if and as your understanding increases, so will your disgust with the spell of illusory energy. And when you voluntarily give up your entanglements in the material world, then the process is assured. I think we are just now typing up the tapes of the conversations we held in Mayapur, and we shall be publishing them as a book. It will be called Perfect Question, Perfect Answers. I shall send you a copy of this as soon as they are ready to distribute. Meanwhile, I will be stopping in New York for 2 or 3 days on my way to London and for Rath Yatra festival there. I am not yet certain that when I shall be arriving in New York, I will be but it will be sometime in the early part of July. You may keep in regular contact with Bali Maradona regarding the arrival date, and I shall be very much in gladdened to meet you in New York once again. Again, we shall discuss if you have any questions. Hope this will meet you in good health and happy mood. Your ever well wisher, AC Bhaktivedanta Swami.
Descending for the Future, New York, July 4, 1972. Bob, I received your very kind letter. Srila Prabhupada. Oh, about a week ago. Now you are a very intelligent boy. You can try to understand this philosophy. It is very important for gratification. People are wasting so much energy. They are not aware of what is going to happen in the next life. There is a next life, but foolish people are ignorant. This life is a preparation for the next life that they do not know. The modern education and its universities are completely in darkness about this simple knowledge. We are changing body every moment. That is medical fact. After leaving this body we will have to accept another body. How are we going to accept that body? What kind of body this can also be known? For example, if someone is being educated, one can understand that when he passes his examination, he is going to be an engineer or medical practitioner. Similarly, in this life you can prepare yourself to become something in the next life. Barber, can we decide that what we want to be next life? Yes, you can decide. You have decided that next life we are going to Krishna. This is our decision. Back to home, back to Godhead. So, suppose you want to become educated after this decision that you are going to be an engineer or you are going to be a medical practitioner. With that objective you prepare and educate yourself. Similarly you can decide what you're going to be going to do next life. But if you don't decide, then the material nature will decide. Could I have been Krishna conscious in my last life? It doesn't matter, but you can become take advantage of our Krishna consciousness movement.
She is asking if it was possible that in her last life she was a Krishna devotee and has come back again. When one is perfectly Krishna's devotee, he does not come back. But if there is a little deficiency, then there is possibility of coming back. But even though there is a deficiency, he comes back to a nice family. Suchinam Shrimadam Gehe Yoga Bhrashtu Abhijayate. The unsuccessful yogi takes birth in a religious or aristocratic family. Human intelligence can decide for the future. That is human intelligence. The animal cannot decide. We have discriminatory power. If I do this, I will be benefit. If I do that, I will not be benefit. This is there in human life. So if you have to, so you have to use it properly. You should know what is our goal of life and decide in that way. That is human civilization. Have you ever seen Krishna? Yes, you have. Daily, every moment, but not in the material body. He has no material body. While in the temple, here they have pictures of Krishna. That is not a material body. You are seeing materially, but because you have a material eyes. Because you have materialized, you cannot see the spiritual form. Therefore, he kindly appears to be in a material body so that you can see. However, he has kindly made himself just to fit for you seeing, for your seeing. That does not mean that he has a material body. Suppose the president of US kindly comes to your home. That does not mean that his position and your position are the same. It is his kindness. Out of love, he may come to your house, but that does not mean he's on the same level as you. Similarly, we cannot see Krishna with our present eyes. Krishna therefore appears before us as a painting, as made of stone, as made of wood, and Krishna is not different from these paintings and wood because everything is Krishna. After we die, what happens to our spirit? You get another body immediately.
Yes, just as when you change your apartment, you fix up your new apartment first, then you leave this one and go there. So, what do we know what type of body we will get? Yes, provided you are qualified. Otherwise, nature will arrange for it. Those who know, they know what is there. But for those who do not know, nature will arrange things. If you do not know, this means you have not prepared your life. So, accidentally at the time of death, your mentality will create another body and nature will supply it. And chanting, what does chanting do? That you can ask these boys, the devotees, they will explain. If controls everything, how does Krishna control a non-devotee? By Maya. Just as the government just as the government controls everything, a kingdom is controlled by the king's department. And how does Krishna control a devotee? Just as you control your beloved. For example, if you have a beloved child, you control him for his benefit. If he is going to touch fire, you will immediately tell him, no, no, my dear child, don't touch it. So, a Krishna conscious person, a devotee, is never misled because Krishna is always guiding him. Whereas those who are not Krishna conscious are in the charge of Maya, and Maya will do the needful, as you have seen. It is the present. Is it present? We are when we are born, the time that we will die. What is the time that I am going to die and others are going to die? Present before we are we are born. When I am born, do I have a certain given lifespan? Yes, and he does not change that. No, he cannot change that. But Krishna can change it. If he commits suicide, is that also present? No, no, not present. Because not present. That you can do because you have a little independence. It is not natural to commit suicide. It is unnatural. So because we have independence, we can go from nature to unnature. A prisoner cannot go out of the prison house naturally, but someone somehow or other he arranges to jump over the wall and goes away. Then he becomes a criminal for further imprisonment. Naturally, the prisoner cannot go out of the prison house, but if somehow or other he manages to escape, that means he becomes again a criminal. He will be arrested again, and his term of imprisonment will be increased, or he will be punished more. So naturally, we cannot violate destiny, but if we do it, then we will suffer. But our destiny can be changed by Krishna, and we are Krishna conscious. We do not do it, but Krishna will do it. Krishna says, "Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami." I shall give you protection. That change takes place for my protection.
There are two stages. Non-devotees are and devotee. The non-devotee is under the control of material nature, and the devotee is under the direct control of Krishna. In the office of a big man, an executive of a big company, there are many employees, and they are controlled by different departmental superintendents. But although outside of homes he controlled indirectly, the same man at home is controlling his children directly, but he is always a controller. Similarly, God is the controller always. When one becomes a devotee, he is controlled by God. When he is a non-devotee, he is controlled by his agent Maya. But he has to be controlled. For example, every citizen of America is controlled by the government. When he is all right, the civil department control him. When he is not all right, the criminal department controls him. But he cannot say, I am not controlled. That is not possible. Everyone is controlled. If somebody says I am not controlled, he is not sane. He is crazy. Everyone is controlled. So either you are controlled directly by God, or you are controlled by his agency Maya. Being controlled by Maya, you spoil your life. You remain in material existence, one birth after another, changing your bodies. But if you choose to be controlled by God, then after this body you go back home, back to Godhead, then your life is successful. You cannot exit without being controlled. That is not possible. That is intelligence, and that is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam jananam आते अंटे जीवनम माम prapadyate. After many births of traveling or speculation, one surrenders unto me. Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Krishna, you are everything, so I have come, accept me. I am now fully surrendered unto you, and you control me. I am controlled for so long. I have been controlled by these rascals. There is no benefit. I have been controlled by my senses. So, under the control of the senses, I have served so called family, society, country, nation up to serving the dogs. But nothing has given me satisfaction. Therefore, now I have good senses. I put myself under your control instead of being controlled by dog. Let me be controlled by God. This is Krishna consciousness. Have you not seen how a man is controlled by a dog in in the street? The dog stops, passes a stool, and his master will stand and wait. Is it not? He is passing stool and urine, and the master is thinking, I am master, but he is being controlled. That is Maya. He has become servant of the dog, but he is thinking, I am master. So unless one is Krishna conscious, one cannot understand. We can understand that that this rascal is being controlled by his dog, but he is thinking that he is the master. We can understand. What do you think? Has he not become controlled by the dog? That is so, but he is thinking, I am the master of the dog. A family man is controlled by his wife, his children, by his servants, by anyone, but he is thinking, I am master. President Nixon is thinking that he is master of his country, but he is controlled. At once he can be dismissed by the public, his servants, and he will take a position claiming, I will give you very good service, and I shall be a first class servant. Therefore people vote. All right, you become president. And he is advertising, related me. That means he is a servant, but he is thinking, I am master. That is the position. Maya, one who is controlled by Maya, is thinking himself master, but he is a servant. And a devotee never thinks to himself, I am master, only I am servant. That is the difference between Maya and reality. He at least knows, I am never master. I am always a servant. When a servant is thinking, I am master, when a servant is thinking, I am master, uh, that is called illusion. But when a servant thinks, I am a servant, that is not illusion. That is mukti, liberation, because he is not controlled by false thoughts. Try to think about this subject matter. A devotee is never controlled by false thoughts. He knows his position, swarupena, uh, Vyavasthiti Mukti. Liberation means to be situated in one's own constitutional position. I am a servant, so if I know that I am servant, that is my liberation. And if I think that I am master, that is bondage. This is the difference between conditioned life and liberation life.
So these Krishna conscious devotees are always thinking that they are servants of Krishna, therefore they are liberated. They do not endeavor for liberation. They are already liberated because they are situated in their constitutional position. They are not artificially thinking, I am master. Otherwise, everyone is thinking, I am master. That is illusion. You cannot be master in any state of life. You must remain a servant. That is your position. When one thinks artificially that he is master, that is his conditioned life. And when voluntarily surrenders to the Supreme Master, that is his liberation. A devotee does not try for liberation separately. As soon as he surrenders to Krishna or his representatives, he is liberated. Prabhupada and Prabhupada people that engages in religions like these Jesus Greeks and other people claim that Jesus is guiding them. Can this be so? Yes, they are not taking the guidance. Just like the Christians, Jesus is guiding them. Thou shalt not kill, but they are killing. Where is the Jesus guidance? Simply saying, I am guided by Jesus Christ, will that do? But I don't care for these words. Is that guidance? Nobody is guided by Jesus Christ. Their claim is false. It is very hard to find a man who actually being guided by Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ's guidance is available, but nobody is caring for him. They have taken Jesus Christ as contractor to take up their sins. That is their philosophy. They commit all kinds of sins, and poor Jesus Christ will be responsible. That is their religion. Therefore, they say we have a very good religion. For all our sinful activities, Jesus Christ will die. So, is that a good religion? They have no sympathy for Jesus Christ. He died for our sins. Why should we commit sins again? Such a great life has been sacrificed for our sins. So, we should be guided by Jesus Christ. But if you take it otherwise, we shall go on committing all sins, and Jesus Christ will make a contract to nullify all my sins. I'll simply go to the church and confess and come back and again do all nonsense. Do you think that shows very good intelligence? No. Actually, one who is guided by Jesus Christ will certainly get liberation, but it is very hard to find a man who is actually being guided by Jesus Christ. What about the Jesus freaks, the young people that have joined the Jesus movement? They read Bible very often and they try to, but violence is against the Bible's injunctions. How can they kill if they are following the Bible? I asked one this, and he claimed that Jesus was also meeting eat in the Bible.
That's all right. He may eat anything. He is powerful, but he has ordered, thou shalt not kill. You must stop killing. He is powerful. He can eat the whole world, but you cannot compare the Jesus Christ. You cannot imitate Jesus Christ. You have to abide by his order. Then you are guided by Jesus Christ. That is actually obedience. That is explained in the Bhagavad. One who is Ishvara, who is empowered, can do anything, but we cannot imitate. We have to abide by his order. What he says what he says to me, I will do. You cannot imitate. You say that Jesus Christ ate meat, admitting that you do not know in what condition he ate meat. He is himself eating meat, but he is advising others not to kill. Do you think that Jesus Christ will was contradicting himself? No, he cannot do that. That is his real faith in him. That he cannot do. So why has he eaten meat? He knows, but he has him asked me not to kill. I have to follow. That is the real system. You are not Jesus Christ. You cannot imitate him. He has sacrificed his life for God. You cannot. Can you do that? So why shall you imitate Jesus Christ? You are imitating Jesus Christ by eating meat. Why not imitate Jesus Christ and sacrifice your life for spreading God consciousness? What do you think? Yes. When you preach, you can say what you think. They are uh, they are so-called Christians, but they are doing. But are they doing anything for God? Just consider the sun. The sun is absorbing urine. Can you drink urine if you want to imitate the sun? Oh, here is the sun absorbing urine. Let me drink urine. Can you? Jesus Christ is powerful. He can do everything. But we cannot imitate. We have to simply abide by this order. That is real Christianity. We cannot imitate a powerful man. That is wrong. In our Vedic literature, there is a there was a poison ocean. So people could not find out what to do with it. Then Lord Shiva said, "All right, I'll drink it." So he drank the whole poison ocean and kept it in this rod. Uh, can you drink poison? Not the ocean, just one cup. So how can we imitate Lord Shiva? Lord Shiva never advised that we drink poison. So you have to abide by the uh, so you have to abide by the uh, advice, not imitate. But these uh, LSD in the marijuana people, they say that Lord Shiva used to smoke ganja, but Lord Shiva drank the whole poison ocean. Can you do that? Lord Shiva's instructions should be taken. He says that the best worship is the worship of Vishnu. Vishnu Aradhanam Param. When he was asked by Parvati what method of worship is best, then he said the best worship is the worship of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. There are many demigods, but he recommended Vishnu worship. He recommended Vishnu worship as the best, and better than Vishnu worship, he and better than Vishnu worship is worship of Vaishnava, Sadhyanam, his servants, and or those who are in relation with him. For instance, we are worshipping this plant, Tulasi. We are not worshipping all plants but because this Tulasi has a very intimate connection with Krishna, Vishnu. We are therefore worshipping her. Similarly, if anything is intimately related with Krishna, worshipping of that thing is better than worship of Vishnu. Why is that? Because Krishna will be pleased. Suppose you have a dog and some friends come and pat your dog. You become pleased. You become pleased. Oh, he is my good friend. You see how they think. We see this. Some friend come and says, "My, uh, my, what a nice dog you have. Please have some prasad." Srila Prabhupada continues speaking with his quest, sometimes in English and sometimes Hindi. And it is it is his last day in New York, and his plane to London is scheduled to leave in only a few hours. Bob has brought a car to drive Srila Prabhupada to Kennedy Airport. The devotees are securing about bringing luggage to the car, putting the manuscripts of Srila Prabhupada's latest translating work in order, and making other last minute arrangements. Everything's ready, Srila Prabhupada. The car is waiting for us. So we can go now. All right. Hare Krishna.
Concluding words. On July 19, 1976, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada accepted my wife and me as his disciple and initiated us with the name Bhakti Devi Dasi and Brahma Tirth Das. As I reflect back on that day, I can see how fortunate I was to have met His Divine Grace and my God brothers in the Hare Krishna moment when I was handed my beads at initiation. I promised to follow the regulative principle and to chant God's names daily. 4 years previously, Srila Prabhupada had advised me to follow this principle, and within 6 months, he said I could be like the other devotees. All unnecessary things such as mundane movies and restaurants would case to attract me. The whole human life is meant for purification. He said, I was interested in being purified, even though I did not really know what purification meant. I had gone to India with the peace crops, hoping to find a higher level of consciousness. I could not believe that satisfying the senses was the all in all. Yet I myself was bound by the senses. Later, I could understand that yoga means becoming free from the addiction of the senses. Upon returning to America, I started graduate school in geology, got married, and become somewhat entangled in domestic responsibilities. But I would very often think of my conversation with Srila Prabhupada and of his instruction. One of his primary instruction was simply to associate with the devotees, and this I gladly did. Devotees are different. By understanding that loving service to the Supreme Lord is the goal of life, that they avoid getting catch up in the petty affairs of senses gratification and false ego. Visiting the temple was most refreshing. Gradually, my wife and I became friends with many devotees and wanted somehow to do some service for the movement. I sponsored a Bhakti Yoga club at the university, and our apartment served as a way station for traveling parties of devotees. As we followed Srila Prabhupada's instruction, even our eating become purified. In India, I had told Srila Prabhupada that I could not offer my food as the devotees do, because I did not understand that Krishna is God. So he told me simply to thank God for my food before eating. This we did, and finally our devotion matured, and we started actually offering our food to the Supreme Lord. What I wondered, fulfilling to be cooking for the Supreme Lord. This actually freed us from the control of the tongue. Finally, we are ready to become involved fully in temple life. By Krishna grace, I obtained a job near a temple in Texas and began to take part in all the temple programs. In this way, all the anarthas disappeared, just as Srila Prabhupada had predicted. It was like having a burden lifted from our shoulders. We were not no longer servants of our senses, but servants of God and his devotees. The value of Srila Prabhupada's instruction had become clear. A human being is not meant to labor like an ass and enjoy like a dog. Purification means coming to a higher level of consciousness.
Even though I have been initiated, I still admire my god brother's spiritual awareness and wish to advance. Actually, initiation is the beginning. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada appeared in this world in 1896 in Calcutta, India. He first met his spiritual master Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami in Calcutta in 1922. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, a prominent devotional scholar and the founder of 64 Gaudiya Math, liked this educated young man and convinced him to dedicate his life to teaching Vedic knowledge. Srila Prabhupada became his student, and 11 years later, 1933, at Allahabad, he became his formally initiated disciple. After their first meeting in 1922, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati requested Srila Prabhupada to broadcast Vedic knowledge through the English language. In the years that followed, Srila Prabhupada wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, assisted the Gaudiya Math in its work, and in 1944, without assistance, started an English quarterly magazine, edited it, typed the manuscripts, and checked the galley proofs. He even distributed the individual copies freely and struggled to maintain the publication. Once begun, the magazine never stopped. It is now being continued by his disciples in the West. Recognizing Srila Prabhupada's philosophical learning and devotion, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Society honored him in 1947 with the title Bhaktivedanta. In 1950, at the age of 54, Srila Prabhupada retired from married life, and 4 years later he adopted the Vanaprastha retired order to to devote more time in his studies and writing. Srila Prabhupada traveled to the holy city of Vrindavan, and where he lived in a very humble circumstances in the historic medieval temple of Radha Damodar, where he engaged for several years in deep study and writing. He accepted the renounced order of life sannyas in 1959. At Radha Damodar, Srila Prabhupada began his work on his life masterpiece, a multi-volume translation and commentary on the 18,000 words Srimad Bhagavatam. He also wrote Easy Journey to Other Planets. After publishing 3 volumes of Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada came to the US in 1965 to fulfill the mission of his spiritual master.
Since that time, His Divine Grace has written over 40 volumes of authorita, um, authoritative translations, commentaries, and summary studies of the philosophical and religious classics of India. In 1965, when he first arrived by freighter in New York City, Srila Prabhupada was practically um, penniless. It was after almost a year of great difficulty that he established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in July of 1966. Under his careful guidance, the society has grown within a decade to a worldwide confederation of almost 100 ashramas, schools, temples, institutes, and communities. In 1968, Srila Prabhupada created New Vrindavan, an experimental Vedic community in the hills of West Virginia, inspired by the success of New Vrindavan, now a thriving farm community of more than 1,000 acres. His students have since founded several similar communities in the United States and abroad. In 1972, His Divine Grace introduced the Vedic system of primary and secondary education in the West by founding the Gurukul School in Dallas, Texas. The school began with 3 children in 1972, and by the beginning of 1975, the enrollment had grown up to 150. Srila Prabhupada has also inspired the construction of a large international center at Sridham Mayapur in West Bengal, India, which is also the site for a planned Institute of Vedic Studies. A similar project is the magnificent Krishna Balram Temple and International Guest House in Vrindavan, India. These are centers where Westerners can live to gain first-hand experience of Vedic culture. Srila Prabhupada's most significant contribution, however, in this book, however, is his books, highly respected by the academic community for their authoritativeness, depth, and clarity, and they are used as standard textbooks in numerous college courses. His writings have been translated into 11 languages. The Bhaktivedanta Book Trust has established in 1972 exclusively exclusively to publish the words of His Divine Grace, and thus become the world's largest publisher of the books in the field of Indian religion and philosophy. Its latest project is publishing on Srila Prabhupada's most recent work, a 17-volume translation and commentary completed by Srila Prabhupada, is not only 18 months on the Bengali religious classic Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the past 10 years, in spite of his advanced age, Srila Prabhupada has circled the globe 12 times on lecture tours and have taken him to 6 continents. In spite of such a vigorous schedule, Srila Prabhupada continues to write proficiently. His writings constitute a veritable library of Vedic philosophy, religion, literature, and culture.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Okay, so finally we have completed another book. From tomorrow we will start the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. We'll do Guru Vandana and then we'll end. Shri Guru Charana Padma Keval Bhagati Satma Bandu Moi Savadhan Mate Jahar Prasade Bhai ए भवतुरिया